This February 10th, 2025. It's your boy Doug. I'm out here this morning and we're headed to Douglasville, Stonecrest, and Dakota today. Because there's money to make and I'm out here to go get it. Good morning to those who woke up today. Happy birthday to those born February 10th. And my condolences to those who did not wake up today. This is your boy Doug. And I wish everyone a great day. And enjoy your day while you can enjoy your day. Because, man, time is short. Condolences go out to Irv Gotti and his family. The man was only 54 years old. And he's no longer with us. So rest in peace. Irv Gotti from the 60 gang. Sorry he didn't make 60. It's hard getting out of your 50s, guys. It's very hard. I think a couple of years ago, I did these ranges for black men, the dangerous age range. And the 50s are the most dangerous age group to make it. Getting to 60 is hard. Getting through 60 is even harder. So my condolences go out to Irv Gotti's family. Wish you would have made 60s, gang, but, you know, God had other plans. May you forever rest in peace, my man. All right, guys. Y'all been watching the Democrats cry over the audits going on in Washington, D.C. They give you every excuse, but what the truth is, they don't tell you why they're being audited. They just tell you that Trump's doing stuff he shouldn't be doing, but Trump said he's going to clean up Washington, and that's exactly what he's doing. So don't get mad because he's trying to tell everybody where the money's going. That's what he's doing. He's telling everybody where the money went. What's going on with this? Let's roll.
Surfer. And he's like, we're going to surf right here. And bombs are going off and all these things are happening. Crazy things are happening. And these kids are like, what are you doing? And Robert Duvall squats down and goes, you smell that? And the kids are like, yeah. He goes, that's napalm. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Smells like victory. Ooh, I got a little chills just thinking about that. Didn't look it up, just remembered it from memory because that's how much it jumped into my soul when I saw that scene. Smells like victory. Love the smell of napalm in the morning. Well, kids, smell it? It's victory. That's what's happening right now in our country. The enemy don't surf. I wouldn't use the expletive that he used, but the enemy don't surf. You see, these people, as I've mentioned to you many times, are showing you they are using their last agonal breaths. Agonal breaths, as I've mentioned and told you, it's those last breaths that somebody does before they die. And right now, these Democrats, as you've seen in the last 24 to 48 hours, are expelling agonal breaths. They got nothing left. They're pushed all their chips in, and today they just basically underscored that for you to see. If you didn't know that the storm was coming, it's too late because the storm is here. They have pretty much put the stake in the ground and go, we're ready to die on this hill. We have to take down this country. We have to stop Donald Trump. We have to do anything we can and everything we can. And we've tried just about everything we can because we must take down America. And that means you and me. And they're making it completely known. They have taken the trench coat and flown it open and said, yeah, this is what we have to do at this point. So some of you guys are probably thinking to yourself, what in the hell is Barry talking about? Well, about an hour ago or so, we found out that a district court judge in New York as a result of a lawsuit filed by Letitia James and 18 other attorneys generals across the country, which is also going to be a problem for them. 18 other attorneys generals across the country, exclusively from blue states, decided they were going to sue Donald Trump and the administration to prevent Doge from doing anything. So before we get too far, I think it's incumbent that I share this order with you, this piece of trash order, this thing that Trump will wipe his butt with, that Pam Bondi will file probably a writ of mandamus very quickly with SCOTUS. And I'll explain to you what a writ of mandamus is. Some of you may be attorneys and you understand that. But let's look at the atrocity that this order is. Right here at the top, you can see all the states that joined in on this lawsuit. New York, Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Nevada, New Jersey, North Carolina, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Wisconsin. Even though some of those states Trump won in the election, the governors and the attorneys generals decided to join Letitia James in filing this lawsuit. Smell that? Smell that desperation? Yeah, it smells like victory. Don't let that evaporate from your mind. They sued Donald J. Trump in his, quote, official capacity as president, U.S. Department of the Treasury, and Scott Bessent in his official capacity as Secretary of the Treasury of the Department of Treasury. Don't forget that designation, the official capacity. Okay, let's continue. It is a 4-page ruling, but for the most part says Paul Engelmeyer, the district judge, a district judge appointed by Barack Obama. The court, sitting in its Part 1 capacity this evening, received an application for a temporary restraining order filed by the attorneys generals of the 19 states identified as plaintiffs. The lawsuit challenges a policy by the United States Department of the Treasury at the direction of the President and Secretary of the Treasury, which, as alleged, expands access to payment systems of the BFS, Bureau of Fiscal Services, to political appointees and special government employees. That's important. The states contend that policy, inter alia, violates the administrative procedures in multiple respects, exceeds the statutory authority of the Department of Treasury, violates the separation of powers, and yada, 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 and they state all kinds of things. So, I want to go all the way down here to tell you what the order is and how this judge completely messed up. Oh, by the way, when he did this and had this hearing, he didn't invite anybody from the government. This was completely ex parte. Ex parte means one side.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part.
Same thing. Something so massive, something so important in our government, and the only people there are the people suing. You didn't even tell the other side that they had to come and defend against this complaint. Just don't need ya. Completely ex parte, by themselves. They sat there. This judge became the judge, the jury, and the executioner without ever listening to anything from the government. Smells like desperation. Napalm in the morning to me. That's how I look at it. All right. The judge orders that the defendant show cause before, The judge show cause before Honorable Jeanette Vargas at courtroom blah, 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 blah on 2 p.m. on February 14th. So first of all, what he did was he said, you got to stop everything you're doing. You cannot continue moving forward until such time as the Honorable Jeanette Vargas takes this case up. So I'm going to shut it down right now, then I'm out. You're going to have to deal with her. She's going to have a hearing on February 14th, a week from now. All right, continue. And at that point, at 2 p.m. on February 14th, why an order should not be issued pursuant to Rule 65 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, yada, 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 and everything else. Okay, so first part of the order, we're going to set this for a hearing for next week. Then we'll decide what you're actually going to do. Then, this is the part that's absolutely freaking insane. The judge orders that sufficient reason having been shown thereof, pending the hearing of the state's application, sufficient reason having been shown. By who? There wasn't anybody else in the court. There was no evidence and no reason shown by the government. And you're just putting in here, evidence, right? I've seen it. Yeah, you're right. This is bad. Let's shut it down. The other side never presented anything. Okay? Okay. The defendants, Donald Trump, in his capacity as president, so remember, they sued him according to his capacity as president. They sued the Department of Treasury and Scott Bessent in his official capacity as secretary. All right. You are restrained from granting access to any Treasury Department record systems or any other data maintained by the Treasury Department containing personally identifiable information or confidential financial information of payees, anyone who are paying, other than to civil servants with a need for access to perform their job. Oh, wait a minute. So the president and the secretary of the Treasury cannot look, but civil servants can. Okay. And that's only to perform their job, who have passed all background checks and security clearances and have taken all information security training for federal statutes and yada, yada, yada. So he knows that these people in Doge have not gone through all this crap. Elon, yeah, he's got a security clearance. Obviously, President Trump has one. But all these other people, he's saying you can't do it. Now, where it gets really crazy here. Okay, so now you can't access anything. You're the Secretary of the Treasury, and you can't access this. Not only can you not access it, you're ordered to direct any person prohibited above from having access to such information, but who had such information, to immediately destroy all the evidence. So you haven't had a single person from the government testify. And you're saying there's a hearing next Friday. But before the hearing next Friday, destroy everything you've seen. Well, how am I going to have a hearing to talk to the next judge and tell her what we've been finding is criminal or corrupt if you're telling me today to destroy everything that we've seen? Notice the date, from the date you were inaugurated, January 20th. Destroy it all.
Super Bowl 59 is on Fox. A legendary three-peat.
Unbelievable.
Destroy it all. Smell it? Smell that desperation in the air? We're going to have a hearing next week. But in the interim, what I need you to do is anything that you guys have found thus far, anything that may be incriminating, anything that, may be evidentiary that you might want to give to Pam Bondi, any of that, you are herewith ordered to destroy it. So you're telling me a district court judge is taking it upon himself to tell the president and the Secretary of the Treasury to destroy evidence of a potential crime. Oh, but you don't know there's a potential crime because you didn't bring anybody in from the government. So it's like, la, 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 la. Just go ahead and rip it all up, shred it, do whatever you need to do. Your Honor, we've got evidence that crimes have been committed. I'm sorry, delete it all. Shred it. Anything you downloaded. Really? Is that what you want this? Is this finally the hill that we're going to see the Democrats die on? I think so. I think at this point they are willing to die on it. Because they got nothing else. I keep telling you, I told you about the email I got from somebody a couple days ago and said, stop saying they're dead. They're telling you they're dead. I'm not telling you. They are showing you we got nothing. All we can do is hope that we find some judge who's completely an activist who will listen to what we've said and tell you to not only stop, but delete everything you found. This isn't Cuba. This isn't Ukraine. This is America for now. This is supposed to be, the home of the free, the land of the free, home of the brave. We've sang it since we were kids. And you are openly telling people to destroy evidence of a potential crime. So yeah, the storm is here, and they have initiated a coup. They are taking you into communism. They're taking you into Marxism. They're going to force it on the federal government. They're going to force you to comply. I had mentioned a couple times to people today, like, if you pay taxes on April 15th, you deserve it. You deserve what's coming. If you're not in this fight, you're on the sidelines. Because some people are like, well, I gotta file because what will happen to me? Well, does it really matter at this point? If you're asking that question, what will happen to me? Then you're not understanding what would happen to the people who threw the tea off the boat back in 1773. You're not understanding what happened or what could have happened to the people who fought in 76 and all that stuff. You're not ready. So go over here and let us talk to the people who are willing to get in this fight. Because when you signed up and put the red hat on and voted for Trump to save America, guess what? You enlisted. And if you think for an instance, and even that much of an instant, if this kind of stuff continues and they're able to have their way, they're coming for you. You're not going to be able to say, you know what? I heard what Barry was saying. I heard what Charlie Kirk was saying. And I heard what, Benny Johnson was saying. And they were telling me to get in the fight and start screaming and talking about it. But, I didn't want to go that far. Too late. Too late. They got your voting records. Trump has already responded and coming hard at these people, very hard at them, because you know what? He knows we're in a war. He knows what is at stake, even if you don't. Okay, where am I? Here. Trump stripped security clearances from New York AG Letitia James. Let me stop right there. Why the hell does Letitia James and Alvin Bragg even have security clearances? Someone would have to explain that to me, why this witch would have a security clearance. Definitely have to explain to me why Alvin Bragg would have a security clearance. Trump has revoked security clearances from Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, and other anti-Trump figures, including ex-Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. Trump also banned them from all federal buildings, calling it a necessary step to protect national security from partisan operatives. The term national security, just in case you're not aware, you're in the storm. The storm is here. We've talked about it for a long time. We're at war. You heard them declare war. Now you know you're in a war. You're in a war for your very livelihood and existence. Forget about your money. This is your way of life at this point. These people are trying to reach in and snatch out of your throat. Scary? I don't know. Go watch a cat video. because that means you're not ready. Oh, Barry's saying we're not ready. Oh, he's being offensive and everything. No, I want fighters. Wake up. These people are trying to destroy you. I do not want to be in a hole with people who are terrified. Now understand, if you're retired or disabled, there's not much you can do, but I know you can pick up a phone. I know you can pick up a phone and text your senators, your congressmen, your newspaper, and scream from the top of your lung in capital letters. I know you can do that. You see how fast Trump has reacted. James and Bragg led high-profile lawfare cases against Trump. Blinken orchestrated the infamous Hunter Biden laptop. Other officials include Jake Sullivan, Lisa Monaco, Andrew Weissman, Mark Zaid, Norm Eisen. All these people were involved in lawfare. Trump previously cut off Biden's access to classified briefings, saying, "I don't trust him." All done. Get out. I don't trust him. All done. Get out. None of you. You think it's going to end here? You think this is just going to be really easy at this point for things to happen? Is Barry talking too tough? No, I smell victory. Now I know, and I'm watching the moves Trump made. He understands. You don't think this was calculated? Remember I talked to you about the war room and the board and everything else and what they must be gaming out? They knew this was going to happen. You see, this is what we needed to see happen. We needed to flank them. We needed them to get to the point of desperation where they outed themselves. And so I'm saying within 48 to 72 hours, this is going to be in front of the Supreme Court. And I could almost imagine what the documents are going to be that Trump is going to file. And there's going to have to be something in these filings that say you can no longer have a undercourt do national injunctions against the president. Who the hell are you? You're a judge in a district court telling the president and the Secretary of State to destroy evidence. This is getting bad. But the good thing about it, and I think I mentioned it, I'm trying to refresh here my tweets. How do you enforce this? How possibly can you tell the president and the Secretary of the Treasury, nah, you guys can't do this and you got to shred and tear down everything? Make me. You don't have Merrick Garland. You don't have Lloyd Austin. You want a coup? Yeah, you might got one now. Because I would not be surprised. And it would terrify a bunch of people. I would not be surprised if we see military intervention. Because how are you gonna stop me? You see, we are in such uncharted territory, and I know they have their war room as well, because this is going to be fought out in the court of public opinion. So never stand. This is why you're needed to get out there. Just think to yourself. When I was telling people, I'm like, hey, listen, just don't even bother filing taxes. And people are like, oh, Barry, I'm not a lawyer. Anyway, you don't want them to put me in jail. And my first question to them was, who's going to put you in jail? Who's going to make Trump do this? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure that Trump's going to tell this guy, go pound sand. What are you going to do? Call the police? How are you going to enforce it? What in the hell are you going to do? I have the military, I have the Department of Justice, and right now, yes, I do have the FBI, even though Kash Patel isn't been confirmed because I have an acting FBI director there. So everything you could use, the U.S. Marshals, I don't care who it is, you don't control. That's like making a threat to Mike Tyson, but you can't get in the ring and fight it. You know, Mike Tyson, you're not allowed to make me. That's where we are at this point. The line has been drawn. freaking make me. Who are you going to call? Oh, that's right. I run the CIA too. What are you going to call? The Mounties in Canada? Who are you going to call that's going to make me take Elon Musk out of this building? Think about it. Who's going to enforce this order? You know, what's funny as you look at these things, the New York Times wrote an article. And in this New York Times article, they actually talked about that because, you know, it makes sense. So here's the New York Times article, and it's, you know, they're all happy. Judge halts access to Treasury payment systems by Elon Musk. And they're talking about it, and everything, and then it gets down to this paragraph that you guys can see. The situation could pose a fundamental test of America's rule of law. If the administration fails to comply with the emergency order, which I just read to you, it's unclear how it may be enforced. No, it's not. I'm gonna clear it up for you. You can't. There are no digits you can call that is going to enable you to enforce this. CIA. I'm sorry, this is John Ratcliffe. Go pound sand. Hey, Department of Justice. Aye, this is Pam Bobby. Go pound sand. Got to be somebody we can call. Let's have the military going. Hi, this is Pete Exit. Go pound sand. Who are you going to call? Who is going to take that order and say they're going to walk into the Department of Treasury and say, you can't do this? So right now we're at a stalemate. New York Times says it. They know. I know. Now you know. Great. You made this order. It's a piece of frickin' paper. What are you going to do about it? Yes, it is a constitutional crisis. Yes, that's where you put us. If the administration fails to comply with the emergency order, it's unclear how it might be enforced. The Constitution says that a president shall take care that the laws be faithfully executed, but courts have rarely been tested by a chief executive who has ignored the orders. Federal officials have sometimes responded to adverse decisions with dawdling or grudging compliance. Outright disobedience is exceedingly rare. There has been no clear example of open presidential defiance of court orders since 1865. What was going on in 1865? Some of you guys weren't living then. I wasn't. But I'm pretty sure I know what was going on right about 1865 when certain things was happening. Yeah, we had a civil war and we had a president that was basically, I don't know if he was dead yet, but he was about to be dead. Abraham Lincoln. I should look that up. So you're telling me in nearly 200 years, we are in uncharted territory. Democrats don't surf. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It smells like victory. You got nothing. You got absolutely nothing. Now you're going to hear the pundits on television, you're going to hear the lawyers, and you're going to hear MSNBC, and you're going to hear them all talking things about, we know this is a constitutional crisis. You knew it when you tried it. You knew exactly what was going to happen. You were trying to put Trump in a position where you could win this in a court of public opinion. But unfortunately, the public opinion is you. You now know without any doubt whatsoever, these people got nothing, but yet they're willing to do anything. That's very scary. That's very, very scary. They declared war. They tried to, storm the Department of Education the other day. Who's being violent? Who's protesting in the street? It's all them. Who wants Elon Musk to shred everything you've seen? Don't let anybody see. Okay, what are you going to do? You've at this point made a statement. You've threatened people. You've told them what is going to happen. You got to comply with this order. And at this point, seeing how Trump's already reacted, He didn't post anything on Truth Social yet, but seeing how he already reacted, come at me, bro. What you got? And so that tells me, with no uncertain terms, that the Democrats knew going in that they had absolutely no shot of this actually happening. But they had to take this shot to try and get other people to say, oh, look at Trump, he's defying court orders, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's such a bad boy. Now you rally. Now you got to get in the game. If you don't get in the game, you're telling everybody else you're not ready for the fight. That's where we are at this point. And, you know, if you weren't sure about whether this thing had legs and what the Treasury Department was doing was legal, just listen to this.
I'm here with U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent in Washington. Mr. Secretary, thank you for joining me.
So good to see him.
Mr. Secretary, we are inside the cash room at the Treasury Department. It is almost impossible to overstate how important the work that is done in this building is to the U.S. financial system. Yet right now, there is widespread concern about the DOJ team's access to sensitive payment systems. Are you worried at all that that access and that tinkering of the payment systems could affect the Treasury's market or cause any disruption?
Good. Well, Saleha, thank you for asking me about that, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. First of all, when you say the DOJ team, these are Treasury employees, 2 Treasury employees, one of whom I personally interviewed in his final round. There is no tinkering with the system. They are on read only. They are looking. They can make no changes. It is an operational program to suggest improvements. So we make 1.3 billion payments a year. And this is 2 employees who are working with a group of long-standing employees.
The letter that the Treasury Department sent earlier this week.
Wait. If he had gone into court or had the opportunity to go into court, he could have told the judge that. Okay, sorry for wasting your time, Mr. Bessent. Secretary Bessent, please take my apologies. These people lied. There was your answer right there. Nobody's doing anything. They have read-only access. They can't do anything without my authority. So what did the court decide to do? Well, even you can't do it. I'm the Secretary of the Treasury. Yeah, but we don't even want you doing it. So shred and burn everything.
Talked about how the team currently does not have access to change the system. Have they at any point this year had the ability to make changes?
Absolutely not. This is no different than you would have at a private company. And by the way, the ability to change the system sits over at the Federal Reserve.
Interesting. The Federal Reserve is the one who can change stuff. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting.
So it doesn't even lie in this building. So they could make suggestions on how to change the system, but we don't even run the system.
And if they ask for, if they request the ability to change the system, would you grant that?
No, again, they have no ability to change the system. I have no ability to grant that change. That they can make suggestions, then it would go to the Federal Reserve, and just like any large ERP system, there would be tests, there would be this, there would be that, and then the Fed will determine whether these changes are robust or not.
Wait. So, I'm confused. How did a judge think about what I just read to you, the actual order? The judge says you need to destroy everything. And Scott Bessent just said, I can't even touch it. This system is run by the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve, which, by the way, is not, they're not elected either. Unelected people. They kept saying, the unelected people are messing with the numbers. Yeah, did you vote for Jerome Powell? Pretty sure you didn't. The Fed isn't even a governmental agency. And they control all the money. And no, you just can't go in and delete stuff.
The Secretary of Treasury, you also oversee the IRS. Do you know what kind of access the team has to IRS data or individual taxpayer data?
Well, I'm glad you asked that too, because look, the IRS, the privacy issue is one of the biggest issues. And over the past 4 years, we've seen a lot of leaks out of there. The IRS systems are quite poor. When I started in college in 1980, I learned the program in COBOL. I think there are 12 different systems at the IRS that still run on COBOL, but as of now, there is no engagement at the IRS.
And if they request that access, would you sign off on that request?
They haven't, so we'll take that when it comes to it. I think there is a lot to do there, but the president was elected with a big agenda, and to the extent that getting the IRS in better shape is part of that, sure. Because look, with the IRS, what am I concerned about? I'm concerned about collections, I'm concerned about privacy, and I'm concerned that the system is robust and customer service.
But do you think that if they ask for access, that is something you would consider signing off on?
There are a lot of things I would consider, but look, we're in the middle of the tax filing season right now. We even, with the government buyouts that expire at midnight tonight, we have mandated that the IRS customer-facing employees, that they're not eligible for that until May 15th. So I don't imagine anything's going to go on at the IRS until then or beyond.
What did you just say? I don't envision that anything is going to be going on at the IRS until at least May 15th, because we're going to deal with all these buyouts. At least May 15th. So as far as I'm concerned, Trump should come out and say, pump the brakes. Don't worry about the April 15th deadline. Chill. Because they're not going to do anything until at least May 15th. Interesting. Interesting. And then I had this other piece, because to dovetail off of that, this is Stephen Miller talking.
After this expires at midnight on Monday, this offer for 8 months of paid vacation at the end of this term of their term, will it go to layoffs if people refuse to come back to the office? What comes next?
Well, of course, if people refuse to come back to the office, they're going to be laid off. I mean, why would federal taxpayers be subsidizing Netflix watching at home for so-called federal workers? In other words, how can you call yourself a federal worker if you never show up at the office? We have these giant cavernous office buildings in Washington, D.C., carved out of marble, stone, and granite in the Greek classical style, some of the most gorgeous buildings on earth. The taxpayers fund it, they pay for it, they upkeep, they provide electricity to, and no one's showing up. And what are they doing at home? Watching their favorite streaming shows? It's crazy. Of course they have to get back into the office because they work for everyone watching me today and watching you today.
Okay, so it's Saturday right now. If you're watching this on replay, I taped this on Saturday. Monday, in 2 days, 48 hours from now, is the deadline. All these people got to either come back to the office or they're fired. Which then the IRS has to do all the kind of stuff that Scott Bessent just said. And then, of course, the other guy in New York is saying you need to destroy all the Treasury records that somebody may or may not have seen. They want to throw the country into chaos. They want to make this all just blow up. Which makes you gotta wonder, at this point, what's in these records? This happened, yeah, USAID was one, and they didn't like that. And now we're finding out, hey, listen, now we're into FEMA, and now we're going to go into Medicare, Medicaid, and all this stuff, and then we're going to go into the military, and we've got access to all these things, and hey, shut it down. We can't let that happen because people will see what we've been stealing. And so you've exposed yourself at this point. Anybody with, again, as I say, a functioning frontal lobe can see, ooh, something's really wrong here. Something's terrifying you people. You really don't want people to know what you've been doing. There are some people, who say part of 9/11 was because Rumsfeld couldn't account for $2 trillion in the defense budget. And where the plane hit actually took out all the accounting, which doesn't make any sense to me because I even have redundancy. My videos, when I put them up, they get downloaded to different places in the cloud. And you're telling me the Department of Defense had no redundancy? Everything was in that box. Boom, poof, gone. Hey, sorry, can't find it. Woosah. My message to you today is they're done. I don't know how long it's going to take to sweep this up or put these people into a box or a cage, i.e. jail, but they're done. You just need to be into the fight to make sure everybody knows what you're seeing, what you're finding, what you're thinking, how you're feeling. You need to get out there. We're all in it at this point. We can see it, and it's just really interesting to me that they chose this Soros woman to come out here and be this figurehead again. Why is that interesting to me? Because I think they're trying to lay a landmine for Trump. And I think Trump's attorneys are going to be too smart for this. Let's get Letitia James in New York to do this. Because if he defies the order in New York, is there something hanging over his head in New York? What would Judge Merchan do? Say, hey, you broke our agreement. We got to put you in jail. They're desperate. They are desperate. They chose Letitia James to be the figurehead here in New York where Judge Merchan is. Every move that they make, I hope Trump has seen it in advance, and every move that they make leads them closer to doom. They're exposing themselves, and you'd have to be really a nut not to see it. I mean, nutty not to see what's going on. In fact, if you're a Democrat, if you're not screaming, no hope for you either. It tells me that you are hopelessly aligned with losers, treasonous, people who want the worst for our country. This isn't to help America. This is to not get themselves exposed at all. Let me go to a couple things that people have said here. This was what Charlie Kirk had to say. New York Judge Paul Engelmeyer just forbade all political appointees, including Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent, from accessing Department of Treasury data, all based on blue anon conspiracy theories. Those theories couldn't be challenged because the order was ex parte, meaning nobody, as I said, the other side wasn't there. Only Democrat attorney generals were allowed to argue. The judge cites no law or logic to support his unprecedented order because it defies both. The judge's ruling, in essence, that Scott Bessent simply occupies a ceremonial position without real power like the King of England. You just told the Secretary of the Treasury, I don't care what you've been appointed as, you got to listen to me, a district court judge in New York. I own you, is what this guy is saying. Your position means nothing. This is a grenade thrown into the functioning of the Treasury Department. It forbids the elected government from accessing information about budget and finances. Instead, only the permanent deep state government can know what's being spent. Yes, it means Scott Bessent subordinates have far more power than he does. They work for him. They're okay. You just can't do anything. Democrat pundits who whine about the Constitution are liars and will shred it the first chance they get. For now, the order is only for the next week, but if a court tries to make it permanent, the Trump administration should absolutely consider defying it. Better yet, SCOTUS should bar this judge from ever hearing similar cases again, and every Democrat lawyer involved should be sanctioned. Forget sanctioned, just this bar. Just get rid of them. Now we're going to have to see the strength of the Supreme Court, because this is constitutional in a big way. Elon Musk, obviously, this ruling is absolutely insane. How on earth are we supposed to stop fraud and waste of taxpayer money without looking at how the money is spent? That's literally impossible. Something super shady is going on here to protect the scammers. You think so? That's like the understatement of understatements. Since we don't know how long this has been going on, we can only assume that it's been going on for quite some time. And because it's been going on for quite some time, we don't know, and we're starting to peel back the onion and find out who's really been running this country. Because this is who's terrified. Whoever it is in the shadows back there, way bigger than Obama. I know some people, it's Obama. No, hey, no, it's not Obama. There's some people back there who have been running this for decades, stealing your money. And they've placed these people in certain places, offices, strategically to take your money. And you were never supposed to find this out. There was never supposed to be a Doge. There was never supposed to be a President Trump. And now they're desperate. It's an OMG moment. Wow. The Trump administration should ignore this. Federal judges cannot construct a contractual entitlement to exercise authority on behalf of the United States government against the policy of its elected leaders. You can't possibly do that. Mike Engelman, for the 100th time, no district, circuit, or federal judge has the authority to pause or interfere with a president's constitutional duty and very legal authority. Defy the damn judges and remove them from the bench. So, Barry, if they know they don't have the authority, why are they doing this? So, playing that chess match, you have to know that they know that they're probably more than likely going to be overruled. Why would they even do this? Because it hopefully in their mind buys them some time. See, everything that Biden did, or whoever had Biden do it, they knew they were going to get thrown out. Hey, we're going to just forgive student loan debt. You can't do that. Well, let's go ahead and go in the court system. And then 4 months later, he had already given back $1 gazillion in loans. They played the clock. They played it, but fortunately for them, at the time, they ran the military, they ran the Department of Justice. So taking adversarial action like that, it was very hard for the Republicans, as weak as they are, to even do anything. There was no one they could call. This is a lot different, because now Trump can take a stand. And it does throw this into Supreme Court, because it's obviously constitutional in nature, and it is national security. So that time break that the Democrats always count on, hey, listen, we got this approved on Saturday, Trump probably can't get to the court until Monday or Tuesday, let's get in and shred all this stuff. It's like, oh, hey, wait a second, I've got military people lining the doors. Oh, didn't think about that, did you? Who are you going to call? You thought that these underlings who have been in the state government bureaucracy would step in and start hitting the delete button. Well, your order didn't give them the right to do that. And as you heard from Scott Bessent, that can't happen. And so as you put these pieces together, you have to think to yourself, well, who can actually get in and start shredding this stuff? No one. Legally. Are we going to see computer systems blow up or go on fire? Or we're desperate. These people are desperate. Don't put anything past them at this point. You are at storm level, coup level. Now it's desperation because they thought they could, insulate themselves with a period of time here before the Supreme Court gets it, because the wheels of justice go round and round and spin quite slowly. All right, type up the motion. Oh, get it over to the court on Monday morning. Hey, no, we don't got that kind of time. And you're seeing Trump on a Saturday afternoon, bam, bam, bam. I guarantee you he's not done. So someone's probably going to go knock on the door of Clarence Thomas or Alito and say, we need something from you. You need to sign this real quick. This isn't going to go till Monday. And I would not be surprised. I hope it doesn't get there. I would not be surprised if we see military intervention before Monday or Tuesday. Because we're at that apex point. We are at that point where an ultimate game of chicken is getting ready to be played on a grand scale. You wanted a coup? Well, Democrats, you may have just put yourself into one. God help us all. I mean, seriously, this could be Kent State all over again. I understand those were National Guard, but now, if I were Trump, I would say, get out there, Pete, secure these buildings. Do whatever you need to do. Secure the Treasury, secure the Department of Education building, lock them all down. Until right now, it's a matter of national security. He already said that, right? Trump posted that. It's a matter of national security. And it is. It is a matter of national security. And so I would not be surprised. I would hate for it to happen. Really, I would hate for it to happen, because that tells you internally there's a civil war that's actually happening. And open your eyes. Absolutely open your eyes. And I'm not saying this because they're a partner. I'm saying this because shit's about to hit the fan epically. We're talking about the Department of Treasury. We are talking about the Federal Reserve. Those two things together could spell some serious problems if things go the wrong way. So if you're in a position, and I'm going to run it right here, but don't you think now, since you're hearing about this conflict that specifically involves money, your money, every bank in the country is dependent upon the Federal Reserve and the Treasury Department. And it's possible by Monday or Tuesday, that could be under martial law. Am I being overly dramatic? No. I just read to you an order by a rogue judge who told the Department of Treasury that the secretary, who's been confirmed by Congress, confirmed by law, that the president who was elected cannot access records of the Treasury. So if the top dogs in government can't access information about the Treasury, who can? Better think about it. As you know, President Trump has assembled the Avengers to make America great again. And of course, we're all excited and ready to see them get to work. But nobody, including myself, that wants to see what's happening right now and what the result could be and what needs to be done that could negatively affect this country. Saw this by Mike Cernovich. I don't want the country to be in a situation where the president ignores federal court orders. That is what these activist judges are forcing us into. They are making stuff up to try to get Trump and stop him from governing. This can't stand. That's what's happening. It's not us. It's reactionary. It's like, hey man, you can't possibly think we're just going to sit back and let you do this. You know, you tried to say the whole thing on January 6th and how you wanted it all over again. Well, you're about to get it. You're messing with people's livelihoods. And now we know to what extent you've been messing with people's livelihoods. It's starting to get out there. It's starting to get out there. The American taxpayer has a pretty valid argument to not pay their taxes this year. Yeah. Unfortunately, for too many people, their taxes are taken directly out of their paycheck by their employer. So they have no say unless they learn how to file the form correctly, which I'm not going to give anybody any advice, but you can probably talk to somebody if your company would allow you to change your form. Some say, oh, you can only change it once a year. What kind of crap is that? If I want to change my exemptions, I'm going to change my exemptions. I'm sorry if you have to get in there and do a couple of edits, but you're holding my money. It's not your money. So if I want to change the exemptions on my, W-4, I'm going to do that. Glenn Beck popped in. Let me see if I have this right. The Treasury Secretary cannot access any data from the Treasury. Who is afraid of the secrets coming out? This judge was not elected, nor was he given the mandate by the people. Enough is enough. We the people demand transparency. It is our money, not yours. Our money. You see, a lot of people are going to wake up now and go, wait a second. Oh, yeah, I understand. Oh, you're messing with my money now? Yep. Yeah, they're messing with your money. You got a 401k? All that stuff at this point. I don't want to scare you, but who accesses and has control of your bank accounts?
You have a message.
They are going to do anything and everything. They can't allow all this information to come out. There's just what we've been seeing. It's like, oh my God. Tens of billions and hundreds of billions of your money over the last couple of years has been doled out to all kinds of stupid things. So is this the hill that the Democrats are going to die on? This is the hill they have to die on. They don't have any choice. Everything that they've done has led to this moment right here where the awakening is finally happening. I mentioned it yesterday. You are on the sailboat in the Truman Show as it has now crashed into the wall. None of us knew it was bad, and none of us knew it was this bad. And now we're all looking like, what the hell has been going on? How do you think they're going to react? How do they keep us under control at this point? Have you thought about that? Right now, we're just looking at different rebellious moves. People are like, hey, man, should I be paying taxes? Should I give these people more money? They haven't explained what they've done with this. Cause, is it possible that maybe we don't do this? Well, hey, they can hear it. They're seeing it and go, hey, man, people are getting a little antsy here. Oh, yeah. Some of you guys who are waiting for returns, good luck. Just saying, we have no idea at this point. What this judge has done is basically locked out the president and the secretary of treasury. I don't think it's going to work, but he in essence, he talk about big balls. This dude had the balls to tell the president and the treasury secretary, you can't access these systems. Let that sink in. You're worried about your 401k and your safety deposit box and your money, and the president of the United States was told you can't come in here and look. I'm not trying to scare you, but the poop is hitting the proverbial fan quickly. Barry, you have called this step by step the whole way. I'm not a Svengali and I don't have a crystal ball, but I could see that crazy stuff was about to happen. I didn't even know about all this USAID stuff. Did not know. But I kept seeing the unraveling of the Democrat Party, and it was getting worse and worse and worse. And now it's blown apart. There is no Democratic Party. All they are pawns in some sort of scheme. They don't have, I mean, you watch them, they're trying to storm different buildings. They don't have any idea what to do at this point. They staff their entire Democrat Party with morons. AOC, moron. Jasmine Crockett, I wouldn't hire her to work in a Waffle House. Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, none of them have any idea what the hell they're talking about. And these are their elected officials who they hoped would, keep everybody in place. Notice you haven't heard peep from Nancy Pelosi. Some of the older ones who've been around for a while are now going, let me step into the background here. Let me fade back. So I've got a whole bunch of stuff to show you with these I don't know who has it, lefties losing it. I called it libnuts losing it, because they're trying to defend what you've been seeing, and people are you crazy? How do you possibly defend this? And now I think we're at a point where they can no longer defend. Send in the U.S. Marshals to arrest the judge. It's getting crazy. Time to invest in precious metals of the lead variety. Somebody said I shouldn't have insulted the Waffle House. Oh, that was a good one. Yeah, let's not insult the Waffle House. Yeah, I wouldn't let her take my order. Lefties losing it, Rita. Okay, that's what it is. The Sky News Australia. Yeah, it's so bad that they have a whole series of lefties losing it because these people are complete nuts, and people can sit back and go, "This is crazy stuff here. This is crazy stuff." Nancy's been in the penalty box for losing the election. It's pretty bad when John Fetterman looks like he might be the leader of your party. I'm just saying. Someone tell me, please, I'm in Carrollton, Georgia. Who do I call? I'd start with Brian Kemp. I would call Tim Burchett. I believe he's in Georgia. I believe Marjorie Taylor Greene is in Georgia. Yeah. Start calling them and go, what the hell is going on here? Light it up. Light it up, whatever state you're in, and let people know you're over this. Do what you got to do. Throw these people in jail, lock them up. I don't care. Remember, on January 6th, they didn't have any problem locking up grandmas, and now we see this stuff happening. It's crazy. Can you claim 9 if you file single? I don't know, and I wouldn't tell you because I wouldn't want you to come back to me or somebody say I was giving tax advice. But you know what? You can probably call a few people and say, what can I do to reduce my tax withdrawal every 2 weeks? Should I pay taxes this year? That's a decision you are going to have to make. Do you feel comfortable paying taxes? Do you feel comfortable if you don't pay taxes? What may happen? So that decision is going to be an individual basis. And one of the things that people have to rely on, number one, pray about it. Number two, are these people being good stewards with your money? 3, do you believe that there may be criminal activity occurring with the funds that you give to the government? And you take all that into accountability. And then 4th, on the backside is, what happens if I don't? What's my liability if I don't? And a lot of people get stuck there. And then the next question I would say to people at that point, once you're stuck in number 4, I could get in trouble. The next question is, who's coming after you? Who's controlling the IRS right now? See, those are the questions that I would have asked myself and saying, okay, so what's President Trump going to do about all this? people are starting to feel a little shady about our government. It's not constitutional, will never hold up. I doubt it will either, but the problem was they can go in your account and take your money, not without a garnishment order, so they'd have to get a court order, but before they went to that level, they would have to be told by their boss to continue going after you. There's not an IRS agent sitting there and going, hey, let's look at Fred's account. Oh, no. There has to be a process. They have to be told to do this. And right now they're down about 87,000 people. So I don't know who Trump appointed at that point. It's crazy. Trump is going to get rid of the IRS. This is, I'm not an attorney, but that might be the answer. That might be the answer. The answer might be, let's wait. Let's file an extension, completely legal. Let's see what happens. I need to file an extension. I forget how long an extension you get, but file an extension. And that way you can just sit back and watch the fireworks, see what happens, see where this country goes. All these years kept in the dark and fed, where'd that go? And fed crap. Yeah. Now that is some big ball worked in a lawyer's office. Barry is right. Yeah. Start talking to people. Barry, you remember these words? Give Caesar, was his Caesar's sorry misspelled? No, I know what you're saying, but you got to finish what is said. Give. I believe the exact words are give Caesar what's due Caesar. Right? Doesn't it say that? Give unto Caesar. Let me look that up for those of you who are swayed by the biblical ramifications. Give. I'm pretty sure there's another half of that. Unto Caesar verse. Okay, yeah, we can go ahead and bring that up. Okay. Give to Caesar what is his, and give to God what is his. So that second part of that is, how do you know what Caesar is due? How do you know what the government is due? That's the part you got to pray on. Because right now, I think they owe us a whole lot more. You've been stealing and stealing and stealing to the point of billions, tens, hundreds of billions of dollars have been stolen from the American people. What is due to Caesar when they've been stealing from you for who knows how long? Who knows how long that has been going on? We still don't know. Decades? More than like a few decades? I don't know. But we now know it's happening. It's definitely happening. SV is texting me. Let me see what this okay, thank you. I can't get into my messages, SV, right now. I'm not sure why. But understand that everything. You're in the Truman Show. Everything you've been taught, everything you relied on, everything that has been drilled into your head about the government has just been found out to be completely false. You gave unto the government because you thought they were doing the right thing. But they haven't. But you got to do you. There's no way that anybody else can tell you what you need to do. It's that bad. Somebody said Elon posted on X again. Let's see what I got. If I can pull up Elon, what has he posted? All right, so Elon is swinging back. Okay, he's gone twice here. Let me pull two things. He reposted something, and And then he posted something on his own. So the thing he reposted was this. He reposted, update. Elon Musk says FEMA's potentially illegal payments will now be paused for review. Biden's FEMA gave $1 billion to NGOs who were focused on facilitating newcomers. This, in addition to the use of FEMA money meant for Americans suffering from disasters to fund luxury hotels for newcomers. Notably, FEMA funneled money to the Red Cross. Don't ever give to the Red Cross. Don't ever give to the Red Cross. To assist newcomers in getting to the U.S.-Mexico border, literally providing them maps to get to entry points, and that's just scratching the surface. Many corrupt officials are sweating right now. Ouch. The number, and I don't know over what period of time, but that was, well, Biden. So over the last 4 years, Biden gave $1 billion to FEMA under the guise of helping Americans in disasters, when essentially it was going all to newcomers so they could stay in luxury hotels. And now this is what Elon has said in regards to what this mess has become. To be clear, what the Doge team and U.S. Treasury have jointly agreed makes sense is the following. We require that all outgoing government payments have a payment categorization code, which is necessary in order to pass final audits. This has frequently left bank making audits almost impossible. Not by accident, I guarantee you. I guarantee you they didn't assign codes, didn't have categories, so specifically you wouldn't be able to trace it. All payments must include a rationale for the payment in the comment field, which is currently left blank. Again, intentional. Importantly, we are not yet applying any judgment to this rationale, but simply requiring that some attempt be made to explain the payment more than nothing. The do not pay list of entities known to be fraudulent, or people who are dead and probable fronts for terrorist organizations, or do not match congressional appropriations must actually be implemented and not ignored. So the lawsuit that the attorney generals went and said you can't even look at that, but they're dead, or they're terrorist organizations, or we've already known they're fraudulent. Don't look. Don't even mention. What? You want payments to continue to fraudulent, possible terrorist organizations and or dead people? How are the dead people getting the money? If I wire, number one, how do they still have an account? but if I wire money to a dead guy, how is the dead guy withdrawing the money? And we've been sending money to dead people, which means that money should still be in the bank. And it should be easy to see, if it's not, who took it. You know, because dead guys can't go make withdrawals. You don't see dead guys driving through the drive-thru. I don't think. So if the dead guys are getting money and the money is being withdrawn, I mean, there's cameras, there's all kinds of things in a bank. There's signatures. Who took the money from the dead guy? Who took the money that was allocated to the fraudsters? Who took the money that was allocated to the terrorists? Oh, you don't even want us looking. My bad. I thought this was a government agency. Also, it can currently take a year to get on this list, which is far too long. This list should be updated weekly, if not daily. So we're sending money to people who have been deemed terrorists or happen to die, or we know that they're fraudulent in January, but we keep sending it for a whole year because it takes that long for us to update the system. The above super obvious and necessary changes are being implemented by existing long-time career government employees, not for anyone from Doge. It is ridiculous that these changes didn't exist already. Yesterday I was told there are currently over $100 billion per year of entitlement payments to individuals with no social security number or even a temporary ID number. Let that sink in. Remember what they were bitching about the last couple days. These guys in DOGE, they have access to social security numbers. That, they can see, into your private data. That's not what you're worried about. What you're worried about is that there's over $100 billion a year going to individuals with no social security number to be checked, no temporary ID number. Just $100 billion a year. For how many years? $100 billion a year. You shouldn't look at that. Okay. When I asked anyone at the Treasury who had a rough guess for what percentage of that number is unequivocal and obvious fraud, the consensus in the room, guessing consensus, was about $50 billion a year or $1 billion per week. This is utterly insane and must be addressed immediately. And then Elon further says, nobody in Treasury management cared enough to even look. I do want to credit the working level people in Treasury who have wanted to do this for many years, but have been stopped by prior management. Everything at the Treasury was geared towards complaint minimization. People we receive money don't complain, but people who don't receive money, especially fraudsters, complain very loudly. So the fraud was allowed to continue. But you don't want Scott Bessent or Trump seeing this, because you don't want people to know about this. Let me just tell you, it's too late. if Elon knows it, Trump knows it. You don't even know how long Elon's actually been working on this. You don't know what the algorithm. Put it this way. I would venture to say that these people are such morons, such idiots, because they don't understand how AI works. They probably still have fax machines in their offices. And still probably they don't understand how AI works. Those of you who have used Grok, very, very minimalist AI, it works very good. You can actually put something in, the hardest question you can imagine, and within 30 seconds, it'll pull up the data. So you've got the best of the best of the best of these savants who are writing all kinds of algorithmic code to search the databases. And I would venture to say that the information that they're querying comes back within, depending on the size of the query, 15 minutes to know everything. And you're saying, and your stupidity of your order. Let me just tell you how stupid your order is. Your order saying destroy everything that you've had right now.
That's against the law.
Don't hold on to any of the data. Do you understand what AI is? If it's on the internet, it stays on the internet, moron. This isn't something in some back office that you're feeding into a shredder. There is no way you are going to stop this information from getting out. That's something at this point the Democrats need to suck on. If it's been found, it's available. There's people in our threads here, our chats, who are so weirded out about AI. And I understand some of their trepidation because it's new. It don't know what really could happen. Well, think about that trepidation in the hands of people who write the freaking code for it and what they can tell the AI to do. I don't know. I'm not a coder, but I'm pretty sure you can say, and whatever you find, make sure you route this to a computer in Switzerland and then have it bounce off another computer in Vietnam and then have another computer bounce off in Belarus. Oh, let's go ahead and delete everything you found.
Bounce it off to the Supreme Court.
It's 2025, moron. That data is in so many places right now, you have no idea. And it's accessible at the click of a frickin' button. So, if you're concerned that something's been found and you want to stop Trump and Elon from disseminating it, too late. Way too late. I'm pretty sure they've already got the Department of Defense information. I'm pretty sure, as you just saw, they have FEMA. They have the Medicare. They already know. You are moving at the snail's pace of Democrat mindset. By the time he got in there, probably between 24 and 48 hours, they had all the systems in place. If these kids have been working for 3 or 4 weeks, you're effed. I'm telling you right now. You too, Judge. You too. Because right now, there's probably somebody's writing an algorithm to look at you, Judge. They're going to find everything. All it takes is a little chunk of data, and then you data mine and match it up, and they're going to know everything about you. If there's one thing the deep state has shown us, is that they data mine everything. They know what's on your phone. They know what television shows you're watching. They know what you had for dinner. They know what you used your credit card for. So what are you doing telling people to destroy what you found? Because everybody who needs to know already knows. And you don't know who knows. That's where the good part is. You don't know who knows what they know. All right, I'm done scaring you? Okay. We're in a war that these people don't even know how to fight. We are in a war where the weaponry is so amazing that they can't even comprehend the weaponry. You think Letitia James knows? Hell no. You think Alvin Bragg knows? No. You guys are laughing at 19 and 21-year-old kids, right? You think they're stupid, right? I wouldn't be surprised if some pictures and stuff just started showing up in places. Some information about you just started showing up in places. Don't get me started. I'm telling you. Go after Letitia. It's far from scary, Barry. I want more. Here's what I would tell these people. You have spent the better part of 7 years trying to take down somebody you couldn't take down. You did everything. You guys know the story. You know, they tried everything, including July 13th. You don't think this guy has been working on his plan all this time? Really? You think he just got elected and showed up on inauguration day? All right, what's next? What we got to do? We got to change the voicemail? Do we need to change that? How about letterhead? We need to change the letterhead? Who changes the letterhead? Seriously? Like I've been saying, I love the smell of napalm in the morning, because y'all just got napalm the F out. And napalm in the morning smells like victory.
Financial.